Everyday life in Sumer, the first civilization. 1. The Sumerians believed in vampires. There were two types of blood-sucking demons in their mythology. The Ekamu were restless spirits of the unburied dead. The Utaku were also spirits of the dead, but they belonged to those who'd been buried without offerings. Both Ekamu and Utaku preyed on the living. 2. The Sumerians thought the earth was flat. They viewed the heavens as a sequence of 3 domes. The domes covered a flat earth. The lowest dome was made of jasper and contained stars. The second dome was the home of the Igigi, or the gods of the heavens. It was made of stone. The third dome was made of a different stone. It was the abode of An, the god of the sky. 3. The Sumerians had literacy. Their language is the oldest linguistic record. Writing was a monumental achievement for that era. Cuneiform tablets allowed the Sumerians to have written rules. The Code of Ur-Nammu was written around 2400 BC. It was the first set of written laws in human history. Sumerian schools taught reading and writing. It took 12 years to learn cuneiform. 4. Sumerian classes were separated by a wall. Sumerian cities were all built around great temples. A wall would enclose the city to protect from invaders. The wall also divided the rich from the poor. The wealthy class comprised priests, craftsmen, administrators, and traders. They lived off the taxes gathered from the poor. They lived in mud brick houses that kept them cool in the summer. They had slaves and hired entertainers. The entertainers would come into their homes and sing songs or tell stories. On the outside were the farmers. They spent their days tilling the soil. They lived in huts made out of reeds, tied together in bundles. They slept on mats of woven straw. On the floor, when it got cold, they burned palm fronds in a shallow fire pit. 5. Sumerian taxes were paid in beer. Sumer was ruled by priest-kings. The city offered protection. In return, every household had to contribute to the temple. The temple used it to feed the priests, craftsmen, and traders. Beer was usually how people were paid. Sumerian beer was as thick as a milkshake. It would often be served as a meal. The temple also conscripted people to work on public projects. They'd spend a few months building new city walls. 6. Sumerian women had their own language. Men understood it, but never spoke it. It was a language used in poetry and song. Mothers would use it to coo to their children. Men had no separate language. 7. Sumerians made metal statues. Sumer was notable for its pioneering architecture. Some religious structures date back to 5200 BC. They were improved upon through the centuries. Sumerian homes had arched doorways and flat roofs. There were also elaborate mosaics, columns, and murals. Realistic statues adorned Sumerian temples. But there wasn't enough stone to work, so Sumerians invented metal casting. 8. The first pyramids were built in Sumer. The step temples were known as ziggurats. They often featured terraces with gardens. This is what the ancients called hanging gardens. 9. We still use Sumerian timekeeping. The 60-second minute and the 60-minute hour are Sumerian inventions. Time was reckoned in lunar months. The Sumerians were among the first astronomers. They mapped the stars into sets of constellations.